Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in here to Blooming Woman. If you're new, and for all of my returning subscribers, welcome back into another live where I'm going to be talking to you guys about implementing spiritual and physical boundaries inside of your life, how you can protect your energy, all the things you can do to protect your energy, all the things you can do to protect yourself physically and spiritually, okay? And that has a big deal to deal with creating boundaries inside of your life and knowing where to place those boundaries, okay? So that's what the discussion is going to be all about. So I'm probably going to wait a little bit for some people to pop in here. Otherwise, then I'll just go ahead and get started. And I'm going to start off by talking with spiritual boundaries and why it's important, how we can go ahead and implement spiritual boundaries, okay? So when I say spiritual boundaries, I'm basically talking about boundaries that are energetic, okay? These are boundaries that are energetic. Hi, Nubian Queen, welcome in. These are boundaries that are energetic boundaries, okay? So this is also going to have to deal with your emotions as well. So this is when you feel that there's somebody around you, or you feel like there may be a situation, a place, a thing, an object, an addiction that's spiritually taking away from your soul, spiritually sucking your energy out. How do you go about placing boundaries on that, okay? So that's what I mean when I'm talking about spiritual boundaries. This is especially really good for females as well, because I feel like in our society, as females, we're just always put inside of this system where we kind of have to obey and be more submissive and just kind of be more vulnerable. But there's a difference between being vulnerable and still having some type of boundary to make sure that people don't cross the line with you. That's especially important spiritually, and it's especially important physically. So now that there's some people in, let's go ahead and talk about the spiritual boundaries, okay? Welcome in, Melanated Royalty, peace and blessings to you. So, spiritual boundaries. This has to do with your energy levels. One of the things that you can do to actually go ahead and make sure that you protect yourself energetically is pay attention to your feelings, pay attention to your emotions, pay attention to energies around you. If you notice that something is making you tired, if you notice that something gets you really drained, if you notice that after you listen to a certain type of music, or after you go to a certain person's house, or after you get off the phone with somebody, your energy is drained, you have to absolutely place boundaries on that, because that is a karmic lesson for you to protect yourself. All right. Unless you are some type of saint, unless you are some type of person that's just way on their spiritual journey to the point where you basically want to give and give and give without any type of restraint. But not everybody is like that. Your average person isn't living inside of the mountains with a bunch of peace and people visiting them for them to give care and worship and love to them endlessly without boundaries. Most of us are inside of a society that if we do let people take advantage of us over and over again, that's going to negatively impact our soul, okay? So this is important in today's society. This is important if you're a man, or especially if you're a woman, okay? So definitely, first things first, pay attention to the energies and how you're feeling on an energetic level. I'm not just talking about frequencies. I'm talking about your actual energy level, like your adrenal glands. How, when you wake up, are you waking up tired? Okay. When you wake up, do you just want to lay in bed the whole time? Or do you wake up and you start to proactively think about how your day is going to go? If you wake up and you just want to lay in bed all the time, there's something that is inside of your life that needs to be dealt with. Something inside of your life that is sucking away energy from you, okay? So you got to pay attention to that. Your actual energy levels. The next thing you want to do is pay attention to what you consume inside your body. This is going to directly impact your soul and your spirituality. It absolutely will. Placing that boundary on what it is that you're consuming inside of your body. If you're eating toxic foods, if you're consuming toxic things inside of your ears. Okay, when I say that, I mean, like, are you just listening to headphones and the song's just about disgusting lyrics, you know, that it might be fun to dance to, but after a while it's just kind of like, okay, this is actually planning some type of thought process inside of my head. That is going to be what you're letting inside of your body. Okay, make sure that what you're letting inside of your body is giving you fuel, is giving you energy. That is going to be talking about creating boundaries, being able to say no. I always talk about being able to tell your mind no, being able to say no. I'm not going to listen to this. It is taking my energy away. No, I'm not going to listen to this kind of music. No, I'm not going to eat this food. Even though it tastes so good, after I eat this food, I feel like my stomach is just like, what did you do to me? Don't eat the food. You have to be able to place that boundary on yourself so you can nourish your body, so you can nourish your soul, so you can think clearly. You eat those bad foods that you know is bad for you. Not only is it going to give you foggy brain, not only is it going to change your cognitive thinking, but it's also going to make you feel some level of guilt, especially if you're aware that when you don't want to eat those food. If every time you eat something that you know is bad for you, but as you're eating it, you're saying, I shouldn't be eating this. I know this is bad for me. And you just eat it, okay? It may sound like, you know, funny in the moment, but over time that's like karma. That's like creating karma. Over time, that actually gets in the way of of you understanding your ability to create boundaries, okay? It gets in the way of you trusting how capable you are of saying no. And it gets in the way of you trusting how capable you are of telling your mind, stop, no, this is hurting me, okay? So that's the second thing, is you want to make sure that you're actually feeding your body with only good things, all right? I'm sorry if you guys hear something in the back. That's just my heater. I couldn't turn it off this live because it's so cold, but yeah, so spiritually, you want to do that, okay? You want to make sure that you are definitely paying attention to your energy levels. Make sure that whatever you're consuming is indeed good for you. Once you know that something's not good for you and you continue to still do it, knowing that it's not good for you, you are actually creating karma. You are creating some level of guilt. Guilt creates karma. So if you basically, whatever you feel is morally right or wrong creates karma. So if you feel guilty for something, you're creating karma. It's kind of like, you can think of it like Christianity, like a sin, right? Think of it like Christianity, like a sin. Whenever you feel like you're sinning, you're actually really just creating karma for yourself, because you're telling yourself, I did something bad. I need to repent for my sins. I need to pay for my sins because I did something wrong. Whenever you do that, you're creating karma, okay? So that's just a quick thing that I want you guys to also understand. And then we move on to physically being able to create boundaries. This goes into sex. I mean, that sex would be counted as physical and spiritual, okay? This goes on to the actual people that you let into your life, your partnerships, your attachments, okay? Your attachment, what are you attached to? What are you attached to? Are you attached to something toxic, or are you attached to something that's actually good for you? Are you attached to something that's actually giving you life and giving you energy? Your friends, your family, okay? If you got abused at a younger age and you haven't been able to move forward past that, let's say you're dealing with a narcissistic person that always took advantage of you or always pushed back your boundaries, what are you going to do? Those are perfect moments to make sure that you place boundaries. You have to place boundaries with people. If you don't place boundaries with people, it does something psychologically to you. If you know that every time this individual is around you, you feel like your energy is being drained, yet you still are there at their beck and call, whether it's a relationship, a toxic relationship, whether it's a toxic friendship, whether it's any type of partnership that's toxic for you. If you don't say, hey, look, you aren't treating me right, I deserve better, that is going to create karma. Because you're not learning that karmic lesson. So you haven't paid off your karma. Because every experience in life is to teach you something. So if you're being taught to put up a wall, and if you're being taught to go ahead and place the boundaries, but you're refusing, you're keeping yourself in a cycle, you're keeping yourself in a karmic situation until you're able to put up that boundary and say no, then you haven't learned your lesson, you haven't grown, and you haven't paid off your karma. So make sure that the people that you are inside of your life, your partnerships, your friends, your family members, it could be like you're connected with them, but you don't have to be at their beck and call if they make you feel like crap. If somebody makes you feel like crap, ignore them. It's okay. It wouldn't be considered bad. If you haven't reached that state of mind where you know how to talk to them without without them taking advantage of you, then you have to completely cut that cord off with them. Physical boundaries being placed also has to absolutely deal with the society we're in today, okay? Hi, Jamila Barakat. I always hope I'm saying your name right. Lovely Nubian Queen. What do you call it? Lovely Nubian Queen. If you type in Capri, Khapri, there, Khepri, Capri, there is a new emoji that will pop up for all of the rooted members, and it's a surprise unless you already know what Capri is. But yeah, hi Gail Lockett. I haven't seen you in a while. So let's get back to it, okay? In today's society, and I always talk about this now in my lives because it is only to help you guys. It is only to help to guide you guys into the right direction, because there's so much to get confused with in today's society. Even when it comes to the government. I know I talk about the government a lot recently, but their controlling tactics are just too much now. When it comes to the government, when it comes to outside influences, okay, you have to place boundaries. You have to place restrictions. Those who try to place restrictions on you and take freedom away from you, place those restrictions on them and make sure that you have your freedom, because you're in charge of your own freedom, okay? So, for example, let's think about what happened a couple of days, okay? don't trust everything that comes into your face. That's the first thing. Do not trust the first things that are said, especially when it comes to the government, okay? The first things that somebody says, the first video that comes out, really take it with a grain of salt. That's how you make sure that you're not being taken advantage of. Take that message with a grain of salt. Instead of seeing what the news did or what the news showed you, and then going straight to Facebook or going straight to social media and seeing how everybody else feels, and then putting in your 2 cent, instead of doing that, watch the video, receive what it is that you saw, and then think about what is it that you felt after you watched that video. Because when it comes to that situation, once again, I'll say it over and over again. I know you guys probably feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I'll say it over and over again just so people do not get misleaded. It is all staged, okay? The government wants racist people to be more racist. They want them to be more outraged. They want them to be more outraged. If the agenda is to push some type of civil war, they're going to do things to make civilization fight amongst each other. And that's exactly what that was the other day, okay? So make sure that you're putting up those boundaries of, I'm not going to listen to what's fed to me. I'm going to go ahead and put my own opinion on what I think about something. That's what the news does. It tells you what to think about. It tells you how to think about a situation. It lays down the foundation. It lays down the spreadsheet, okay? It lays down the draft, okay? It lays down that draft. So it lays down the topic of discussion. So there's already some type of guided narrative, even if it's just the topic of discussion has been put in front of you. So you have to be really careful when it comes to the government, the news, when it comes to racism, when it comes to the virus, when it comes to having something injected inside of you, when it comes to putting a chip inside of you, all of those things, you got to be careful. Do not get lost inside of the smoke and mirrors of how everyone is feeling about it. Because a lot of those people aren't really people who are necessarily standing in the truth of the situation, okay? So let's see, Melanated Royalty said critical thinking is a must. Critical thinking is a must, but critical thinking at the same time can really get in the way, okay? Critical thinking, critical analyzing a situation and using your critical thinking, it can really get in the way, especially on your spiritual path. At times, it's even better to observe the situation, observe what it is that's being put in your face, observe that person that came into your atmosphere. Pay attention to how your actual body feels, okay? Are you all of a sudden being negative once this person comes into your path? Or are you all of a sudden, let's say I always use a relationship as an example, because I feel like relationships are one of the things that people really, especially females, nowadays really need to learn how to place boundaries. You know, I was one of those females too, where, I just, in a toxic relationship and not getting treated right, but still staying there, like, it's okay, he'll get better, and I noticed that's a lot of females. So, for example, let's say, every time you meet up with this guy, or every time you are around him in your home or whatever have you, you automatically start to have negative thoughts, doubts on that person. Oh, this guy is back. He's so annoying. Oh, this person is so annoying to me. Yet you are still in the relationship with that person, or you are still seeing that person. So what it comes down to is sitting back and observing. That is actually a time, especially as a female, that's actually a time where critical thinking and analytical thinking might actually get inside of the way, because that's all our mind does. Our mind is made to criticize and overanalyze situations. Even if something's good, it can criticize something and overanalyze something to make it not what it really was. You could feel love, you could feel happy, but let's say you're suffering with depression and you had a glimpse of happiness one day, but now your mind starts to analyze and criticize. Now all of a sudden, now you have doubts and you're back into a pessimistic outlook in life, and you're back into that depression again. So it's give or take with the critical and analytical thinking. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, like, I would just say it's better to observe. It's better to observe and then place boundaries. Because when people come into our lives, every single thing, a bird, a butterfly, anything that happens inside of your reality is happening for a reason. Every person that you meet is only for a few reasons. Everything's karmic. You meet somebody because maybe you're going to teach them something, or maybe they have something to teach you. Maybe the experience itself is teaching you something. You're either paying off karma or you're receiving good karma. You know, there's different words for karma. You know, you can look at it any way you want. But once you realize that, it's almost easier to accept negative experiences inside of your life. It's almost easier to place boundaries inside of your life as well. And it's easier to go throughout life and just watch the show. Just watch the show. It's like we're all characters inside of a movie. It feels very real, right? Because our mind is capable of feeling emotions. Our mind is capable of analyzing and critical thinking. So it feels extremely real. It doesn't feel fake. It's just like going inside of it's just this reality. It feels real. You're in this body, you're you. But when you go into a dream, you're in a different reality, and you're in that reality, the dream reality, until you wake up. And then you know that you're dreaming. So it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, so how do you know how to protect your energy, how to protect yourself physically? Raise your awareness of your senses. Do things that are going to enhance your ability to feel energies. Do things that are going to completely excel your ability to feel good and bad energies, okay? And if you're already there, if you're empath, then now you have to work on actually setting that boundary and implementing that boundary down. There's different ways to do it. Sometimes you don't even have to talk to set a boundary. Another thing is, you'll know when something's bad for you if you have, like, let's say, I'm not sure if you guys experience this, but I know a lot of empaths do. And I know a lot of empaths are subscribed to my channel. Most of you guys are empathics. But if you're able to see energies and you're able to see spirits and you're able to see your ancestors, or if you're able to see things of another realm around you, if you have had somebody even, let's say, pass away that was close to you or in your family, and you feel like that person watches over you. Some of you may even be able to call upon that person if you feel scared, or if you're having a bad dream, or if you feel like you're in danger. But if you're capable of seeing and feeling those things, one big significator of knowing when you need to put a boundary up inside of your life is when your spirit guides start to pop up. If you just start to see them a lot, if you just start to feel like you're not the only one in the room and you feel like your spirit guides are around you, if you feel like you're being protected by your ancestors, if you feel like you're being protected by your spirit guides from someone from the other side a lot, then that means you're probably around an individual that you need to protect yourself from, period. If every time you go over to somebody's house, you feel like your spirit guide is present really heavy, it's because they're trying to protect your energy, and they're trying to warn you that this person is toxic from you for you, and this person is basically sucking energy out of you. I swear. I promise you. I mean, I'm not talking, seeing, feeling like if you don't know that you have someone protecting over you and you just see some random stuff, I'm not saying trust that, because that could just be some random entity. But seriously, all jokes aside, if you feel a strong presence of your spirit guide, your ancestors, any of that, it could be trying to warn you that you need to protect yourself. It could be already protecting you, but it could be trying to give you a sign that you need to protect your energy, period. So that's another thing. Another thing that's going to help you observe, and I know I always say this, guys, but it's so important. Like, it's cold outside right now. Where I am, it's probably 20 degrees outside, but I still forced myself to go for a walk. And you know what happened after that walk? I felt so great. Connect with Mother Nature. I couldn't say it anymore. Connect with Mother Nature. We are just part of nature. We're an extension of nature. Why are we different from like the bird that's flying? I mean, our capabilities are different, right? The bird has some pretty special, beautiful powers too. But are we different from the tree outside? Like, really, are we really different from it? No. We are actually an extension of Mother Nature as well. We're an extension of Mother Nature. So would it make sense to go to work, come from work, stay inside four walls, and just stay inside without getting any type of fresh oxygen, without getting any type of connection to nature? That will be one of them things that lower your ability to sense. Because when you're in nature, you are observing. When you're in nature, you are connecting. When you get into nature, there's a sense of adapting. There's a sense of vulnerability and being safe within nature. And when you do that, you're able to see the birds, you're able to see the butterflies, or if you're in dead winter depressing trees like me, then you're able to at least see the breeze blow, see a flock of birds, and really understand how they feel. How does the bird feel? see some beautiful interactions in nature, understand how does that feel, get in touch with feeling energies. Once you excel at feeling energies, you will know when something is sucking your energy away and you need to place boundaries, okay? Once you learn how to tell your mind, no, stop, this isn't good for me. Once you learn to tell your mind no, and you self-discipline yourself, then it will be easier to actually implement putting that boundary. I'm not going to really go over like all the different ways to put the boundary up because, you know, that's like case by case, situation by situation. You know, it could be verbally, it could be silently. Just your energy alone could say, get away from me. Or I'm not comfortable with that. Or sometimes you might actually have to say it. Sometimes you don't have to say anything at all. Sometimes you just leave. Or sometimes you just pick up your phone and you unfollow, or you block, or you say, tell your mind no. And you say, I'm not going to watch this because this is actually toxic for me. It's bringing up past memories, and it's not bringing up in a way where I'm actually healing from it. It's bringing up past memories in a way where it's adding fuel to the fire, or it's adding more damage to the situation. Gotta raise up your capabilities of feeling energies inside of your life. It's very, 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 very important. Trying to figure out, there's so many things. So nature, you can also get in touch with crystals, you know what I mean? And crystals is one of those things where it's like, what is the crystal doing for me? What does the crystal do when I actually go ahead and hold a crystal? Does the crystal make you feel a certain way? So basically, what crystals do is, crystals are basically, you can even compare it to water, because water holds information. Water holds information, and it holds actual emotions. It holds emotions. It holds information. Like if you were to whisper something into water, like seriously, you can charge water up with a certain type of energy and drink it and feel that energy. If you spoke the words love and devotion, or if you spoke the words heal my body into a glass of water, and you put that intention onto that glass of water, water has the capability of holding on to energy and information, and you drink that water. If you go to sleep and you put a glass of water near your bed, glass, not plastic, glass. So that way, light and energy, light that you cannot see with these physical eyes, right? Only the inner eyes. Some of us can see it with the physical eyes, but if you use a glass so that light can go through, you'll see that you'll have extremely vivid dreams. I don't care if you never dream. If you put a glass of water next to you, even if you don't have a dream, you will wake up feeling very, very, very highly intuitive and capable of picking up on energies a lot easier with water, a glass of water. And I'll get back to that. So crystals, all right? Crystals is kind of like the water. Crystals also hold on to information. The only thing is with crystals, crystals are holding on to their own identity. They have their own information. Where the water, you can actually charge the water up with whatever it is you want to charge it up with. You can put a crystal inside of the water, and that water will absorb the crystal's personality and vibrancy and frequency. And then you can drink that water. That's why they have the water bottles with the crystals inside of it. that will help you in establishing boundaries inside of your life, because it will help you understand when boundaries need to be placed. Okay, so crystals have their own personality. Crystals have their own frequency. They have their own characters. And what happens when you actually hold on to a crystal, or when you focus your energy on a crystal, or you place a crystal on your body, is your ability to accept the crystal. You have to accept it, because those who aren't accepting it will hold on to it and say, I don't feel anything. But it's going to basically wake up that part of your emotions. It's going to wake up that part of your brain that already exists inside of you. Period. You can hold it in your hand, and the crystal is literally waking up that part that already exists inside of your brain. So if you get a crystal that's about protection, like black tourmaline, black onyx, red jasper, any type of black or red crystal, or even silver, hematite, pyrite, things of that nature. If you get a crystal that's based off of protection and you hold that crystal, is that crystal actually protecting you, or is it waking up a part of your psyche that's capable of protection? It works hand in hand with the crystal and the energy and frequency that's inside the crystal, as well as partnering up with your own mind. Because just like I said, if you're not accepting to it and you're not wanting to wake up that part of your mind, those are those people who hold on to crystals and say, I don't feel anything. Is it supposed to move? What is it supposed to do? Those are that people. And crystals are going to help you. They're going to help you, because once you get in tune with doing that, then what's going to happen? You're going to be able to do that with other individuals. You're going to be able to do that with people that walk into your life, or energies. You'll be able to feel if something's around you, because your ability to feel other energies, just like how you hold onto a crystal and feel it and connect with it, will heighten. Okay? Will heighten. And when it comes to just placing that boundary, it just comes down to the same thing. Tell your mind no. Or another thing that might help you with placing boundaries, other than telling your mind no, is going to be to also make sure that you're deserving. Is to know what's going to happen if I don't place this boundary. Knowing what's going to happen if I actually don't place this boundary is going to get in the way of your soul, is going to get in the way of your path that you're on. It's going to get in the way of you living your true purpose. Is going to get in the way of your health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It's about knowing that you are basically losing something by not protecting your energy, by not protecting yourself physically. So it's a pretty long discussion. It's a lot inside of it. I can talk about this for hours, and just new things may pop up in my head about it. But for now, just keeping the video and this live really short, and making sure that I said some of the most important things that I could think about. And that's going to be what's already in the video, okay? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Gail Lockett. I haven't seen you for a while. I was wondering, I was like, oh, okay, maybe she's on vacation or something like that. At Ape Skies, hi, hope you're doing good. Yes, and also you guys, for readings now, for private readings, all you have to do is go on to bloomingwoman.com. That is my website. and it's going to be really easy to just schedule a reading. And if you have any problems or you don't know how to do it or something, you can just email me at bloomingwoman@gmail.com. And then also, I will have products coming soon. I'll let you guys know inside of the community tab. You know, the community tab I post every now and then. I'll let you guys know when I have my first product finally. It's going to be a surprise, okay? I'm not going to ruin the surprise for you guys, but I will keep you posted and let you know. And those products you'll find on my website once it comes out, when I show you, okay? And let's see what else. Anything else? I don't think so. Hi, 13 Elevation Station. How are you? 13 Elevation. There are 13 signs. I know there are now. I feel like I'm missing something, guys. That. I know I'm forgetting something, but that's okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Much love from me to you. And I will see you guys inside of the next video. Bye-bye.